Hi, my name is Jimmy Yu. I am a high performance coach here at Complete Performance Coaching. I'm one of many who work here as a sports psychology consultant or high performance coach to help athletes um, perform at their best. So, today I'm going to talk about what happens when athletes choke in competition. All right, a couple weeks ago, Rebecca did a good job talking about um, kind of the same thing about athletes who have anxiety, who don't perform well in competition, yet perform really well in practice. So, for this side of it, choking, I think this happens more. I see it a lot with athletes who have performed well at some point. So, at some point, they've had success in their sport, they have done really well. To me, I call it like their rookie season or coming out season. So, they have this great coming out season. They're really successful, and then the next year, they call it the sophomore slump. Something big happens where some sort of stress, some sort of something happens where they just start performing poorly. All right, and that's that idea of choke. And to me, that is it becomes more of that outcome based thought. And today, just to help kind of make it easier, I'm gonna refer to a case study. So someone I had worked with in the past, and I'm gonna change this person's name. I'm gonna change um, a lot of personal things about them just to protect their identity. And I do that with all my clients. If I do a case study, I make sure that I protect who they are, their kind of private stuff, and just use broad examples. All right. So today, the case study of a person that choked. This person's name is Jenny. All right. She is a freestyle skier, and I worked with her in the past because she had started choking. Um, Her first season, her like coming out season, she actually competed in a bunch of events. All right, and she was really successful. Every event she was in, every competition, she basically won it. She was either winning first place or she was podium. She was on the podium. So she placed at her best. She was probably half the time she won every event. She won gold, and if she didn't, she won. She took second or third place that whole season. All right, so she had a great first season, great coming out, and then her second season, her sophomore slump hit. All right, so she started performing poorly. She started the season pretty well, won a couple competitions, then slowly started sliding. All right, so when I started talking to her, here's some things we talked about. So first we talked about what was going on that season, and she said that that second season, basically there was a lot of pressure she was putting on herself. One, because she was so successful that first year, she felt like she had to continue that success or even perform better, like place first at everything, right? Secondly, she had gotten some new sponsors, and she was scared that if she didn't perform well, that she would lose those sponsors. Third, she wanted to make sure that her like coaches and everyone like that they were always proud of her. So she felt like again, she had to continue her upward trajectory and continue to perform really well. All right, so again, so that sophomore slump, she started. What basically ended up happening is in practice, she was really hard on herself. She was overworking herself. Basically, I've got to do really well. I've got to perform. I got to work twice as hard as last year so I can have, even better results this year. So, number one, she starts hating practice. All right. Two, like she starts getting mad at herself for practice because if she couldn't do something well, she pretty much just got frustrated. It's like, oh my god, like starts freaking out because she can't do it. All right, so again, that she starts wanting to avoid practice. She doesn't, but it makes it harder for her to go to practice. Secondly, in competition, she's no longer, she's really uptight. She's really kind of high strung now and having a really hard time competing. She can't focus because she's just overthinking stuff. All right, so when we compared it, we sat down one day and we talked about the differences. And the first thing that Jenny talked about, her first season, that coming out season, some highlights were that, she didn't expect to win. She just went out there. She was excited to compete with really good athletes and really good people and see how she would do. All right. So in that case, she also said I was relaxed. All I wanted to do was work as hard as I could, see how I do, and really just meet people and have fun. So she's like, my first year, amazing. Because all I did was go out there, compete. I did really well. I didn't really think about it. I just had fun. All right, and she said I made really good friends. I was really outgoing. I cheered everybody on. They cheered me on. It was just this wonderful community, wonderful competitive environment. All right, so then second year happens. and everything changed. For her, the stress was she put so much stress on herself, focused on the outcome, focusing on winning versus just competing. So she talked about how she basically started thinking of teammates and competitors as enemies, in the sense that when she was competing, that's who she was competing against. She had to beat them, so she wasn't cheering for them anymore. She was hoping they'd lose, right? And that was stressful for her because she wasn't talking to anybody at this point. She talked to her coach, talked about strategy, but she wasn't loose anymore. She was really just kind of uptight, kind of stressed out, just trying to compete, trying to win, just focusing on winning the whole time. All right, so again, and that led her to these poor performances because she'd get on the course, she'd get all nervous, she would be so tight, so kind of, again, high strung, that whenever she got on the course, she'd either fall or she just didn't perform her tricks very well. All right, so again, those were the big differences. And the thing that we talked about, she said, I just had this pressure to perform, making everybody happy, and it wasn't fun anymore. I just didn't like it. It was hard to get up in the morning to want to go train, but it was, once I got there, it was okay. After I took a couple runs, I'm okay when I'm in training. But getting there was sucked. Going to competitions, no longer that fun. All right, so some things that we worked on. One thing that we talked about, let's see, actually, let me go back. So other things about that sophomore season she talked about were that even at these tournaments, because she had done so well, these competitions, everyone was expecting her to win. So even Jenny's here, so she's going to dominate. Let's just not even worry about it. She's got that first spot. So there's that pressure as well. That drive to succeed, clearly just that upward trajectory and to do well. All right, so some solutions, some things that we worked on. And the one thing that we found that we kind of talked about was this idea of original passion. All right, so getting back to that idea of what happened her first year, that coming out season, of making it fun, right? So we called it original passion. It really isn't her original passion, but it's why am I doing this? It's not because I'm winning. It's not because of success. It's not because of these sponsors. It's just because, and this is what she came up with, is that she just loved being out there. She loved being on the mountain. She loved being with her friends. She loved training with her coaches. She loved just learning new tricks, working hard, and having fun. All right. So she missed that aspect of her teammates. So she was on this ski development team and was working on that. All right. So the one thing we got back to is that why do we do this? It's to have fun, to have that challenge of just learning new tricks, getting better at old tricks, getting out on the mountain. All right. And again, talking to friends. And really, as it got to competition, it was about cheering others on again. So bringing back that community spirit of competition, all right? And the second thing, so one, again, it was about what do I love about this? Second thing was, who do I want to be? We talked about identifying role models and people that she respected. And she talked about a number of teammates, a couple pro skiers that she brought up, and again, and coaches. She said, these are the people I respect, and here's the reasons why. They are hardworking, they're fun to be around, they're extremely compassionate, they have a drive to kind of always be better, and they're always motivating themselves and motivating others to do well. And she said, Jenny said, I want to do this too. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to get back to. So we identified, all right, those are the strengths she likes that she found from her role models, and this is how she wanted to be as an athlete and as a person. So we really focused on those kind of characters to bring to competition and again to practice. All right. So the big thing was, once she was able to do that, she was able to relax more, get back to that fun part of competition, not worrying about winning. All right. So another piece of it. So again, we've got, why am I doing this? Who do I respect and what characters do I want to bring to the sport? And third is motivation. All right. So motivation, reminder why I do this. And again, so to do this, to get up in the morning, she talked about how it was really tough to get up in the morning, to get out to training, right? So for her, it was important to make her bathroom kind of her, what do they call it? Her vision board. So her vision board became her bathroom. So the first thing she did, she'd walk in the bathroom, turn on the light, and she'd have a picture above the light switch. And maybe it was a quote. right? Then she'd lift up the toilet seat, and it'd be a picture of a mountain, sunny mountain with like snow, just a beautiful peak. It was her reminder, I love being out on the hill, right? And then she's sitting on the toilet, and she's like using the toilet paper. She'd have a picture of her friends right above the toilet roll. So as she like rolled out the paper, it was like they were skiing powder, and they were just being out there. All right. So again, that reminder to be out there. Then as she went to the sink, she had pictures and quotes and everything surrounding, her mirror. Whether it was like future goals, whether it was just reminders of what little things made it fun. So those little pieces of motivation, she made her vision board. Her motivation was in the morning to get fired up to go to practice, to go to training, and that was her bathroom. All right. So number 4. So she got into competition. So this part, it's a lot, and it reminded me of Lindsey Vonn. When she does visualization, she really they talk about how she kind of feels the course. She visualizes it, kind of feels through it, uses her hand. And we talked about this, and what Jenny came up with was, I'm going to treat it like a video game. When I visualize it, it's like playing, I think she called it I think there was a video game called Tony Hawk Skate. She loved playing this video game where you're just skateboarding on a video game. So she's like, I want to treat it like I'm Tony Hawk in the video game, just kind of jumping rails, hitting big jumps, just doing cool tricks. Because when I think about just being like the video game, I'm loose, I'm having fun, and I'm creating. I'm being creative, and I'm just kind of being in the moment. And that was the other reminder that, when she was able to think this way, she realized that this sophomore season, when she was getting all kind of uptight, she wasn't focused on the flow of it or the feel of it. She was more focused on how to do each trick, how to really break down everything, and it was stressing her out. And the way that we talked about it and relayed it was, she was trying to think about walking, right? When we go on walks, we go on hikes, you don't think about each step you take. You don't think about lifting your legs, moving your arms, trying to keep your balance. But that's what she was doing, essentially. She was taking this muscle memory, stuff that her body could just do if she didn't think about it, and she was trying to think her way through it, which was slowing her down and making everything complicated. So we talked about kind of getting back to that automatic process, getting back to allowing her body to flow, right? So if we go on a walk or we hike, there's moments where we just kind of get in the zone and we don't know what happens, right? When I walk my dog at night, there's moments where we just walk for miles and I just lose track of time. I lose track of where we're going. Somehow I end up walking a couple miles around the neighborhood. Don't really know how I get back, but boom, I'm back, right? So same thing, getting into that mindset. If I just allow myself to feel through it, right? So we talked about in warm-ups, when she was warming up for competition, to feel her way through it, feel her way through the course, and not think about the certain techniques she had to use, but just how to kind of get comfortable, getting her body loose to feel through it, right? So that was part of her video game visualization approach. Next, we talked about managing her stress, right? So the big thing with that, whenever she would get uptight about, oh my God, I have to win, or thinking about the outcome, she'd go back to, why am I here, right? I'm here to have fun. I'm here to work hard. I'm here to, what we came up with is to be the best competitor. And to do that, she talked about, I want to get the best out of the people I am competing against, because I want to make them better, and I want them to make me better. And the way we had brought this up is we talked about Tiger Woods. So back in the day when Tiger Woods was winning every tournament or just going nuts, he exploded onto the scene, everyone wanted to play Tiger Woods because he was amazing. He was going out there and it raised everyone's game, right? And what she wanted to do and what she made as her kind of expectation is, I want to be like Tiger Woods back in the day. Whenever I'm in competition, I want to raise everyone else's level of, I want to raise their bar. So if I go out hard, I want them to go out hard. Because if they give it their best and I don't do well, it's because I got the best out of them and I got the best out of me. And vice versa. If I do really well, I work hard, and they're working just as hard and I come away with it, then it's because I got the best out of them, they got the best out of me. So that was her goal. It wasn't about winning and the gold medals or the podium. It was just about, I want to get the best out of them so that I can become a better athlete. right? And then in the end, the last thing was I need to cheer everybody on. So this is my community, she says. She's like, this is my community of skiers. I love these guys, like off the hill. Like I have so much fun with them in training. When I see them, when I run into them at different like resorts, we're always there. Like we're always having fun. We're always just supporting each other. And that's the thing she wanted to get back to. So at competitions, she made sure she was cheering everyone on, that she was letting them know like, hey, like watch out for this spot. Like this is a icy spot, or this is too whatever, too gnarly. Like be careful on this spot, or it's too windy. Just to let her competitors know like, hey, let's even the field. Let me help you out there so you can help me out. So those were her tips on how she got better, how she got through that sophomore slump, how she got away from that, choking, putting too much pressure on herself to do better, and really just focusing. What we talked about is focusing on the journey versus focusing on the outcome. So focusing on those little things to enjoy the moment and be a part of the moment, enjoy where she's at, enjoy being at the ski resort, enjoying the different locations she's competing at, enjoying just being around the people she's with, and not worrying about winning, sponsors, where she needs to go next, where her career needs to go next. All right, so hopefully that was helpful for you guys. If you have any more questions on this or want me to continue more on it, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. So please leave a comment. And again, this was about choking in competition and where athletes who find success normally hit this road to this, what's called that sophomore slump. And these were some tips on how to get out of that sophomore slump, back to succeeding, back to having fun, back to competing at our best. All right, thanks.